Hello, and welcome into our next episode of Between the Hedges. Thank y'all for tuning in whenever that is. We really appreciate it. What's going on tonight, Tiger Mike?
Where you at, baby? What's up, dog father?
What's up? What's up?
Man, we're rocking and rolling on a Sunday night, man. Looking to close out the week, go to work tomorrow. But man, what a week it has been, huh? Man, some good games this week and just new bring in the new year. Whew,
Yeah,
good stuff, man.
yeah, we had some exciting games in these quarterfinal matchups as we expected, right?
Yes.
And we'll get to it, but best one being, Georgia Ole Miss as far as score competitiveness, back and forth game. It was just really everything you could want in these matchups. So the others were not as competitive, but hey, we'll get into that. Any like initial thoughts for you? Uh, one of these games that stuck out the most.
Um, I would guess just the emergence of Indiana.
Yeah,
They dominated, in my opinion, Alabama this week. And now I did pick them to beat Alabama, I didn't pick them to dominate. I picked it by I think it was a 7 points or something like that. But I knew their defenses were strong, and I knew that Signetti um, had got those boys to play to go to Oregon. And man, that was just a statement game, if you ask me.
yeah. That was probably by far the statement game of the four because Indiana just absolutely dominated Alabama, took them to the woodshed. That was probably I think we texted about it. I forget what Daddy Ice said. He if he's in here, maybe he can comment. Um,
I think he said it
but
was 10 cans of whoop ass.
10, yeah, definitely with the spot it was in, I believe, yeah, 10 cans for sure because nobody expected it to get quite that lopsided, and it did. And Indiana deserves all the credit in the world for what they did, and they slayed their dragon, and Ole Miss slayed theirs. So, and we'll get to that one, but I kind of wanted to start with the Miami Ohio State game. So my biggest takeaway from these four games was just how physical Miami was. I think they found a weakness that Indiana maybe exploited a little bit in the Big Ten championship game with Ohio State, and that was their offensive and defensive line wasn't as dominant this year. And uh, yeah, as Lee's saying in the comments, that Miami D line showed out. They
It did.
really did.
Well, and
Um,
I believe we mentioned that a little bit. I think the DNs we talked about a little bit in the last Sunday was if they came out to play with that defense, I think that's the reason why I picked Miami as well. Plus, I picked Carson Beck would have a great game, and that didn't happen. But
he didn't have a great game, but again, he had a clean game, and that's kind of what I talked about. If he keeps it clean, he's a very cerebral quarterback. He's a smart guy. He's got a lot of experience. I mean, they probably said the fact that he's got over 30 wins as a starter probably 20 times in that broadcast. That was kind of like the thing that they kept talking about um, as far as he's concerned. So, yeah, I mean, he's been there and done that. Miami's roster is full of guys that have been there and done that. Um, they've had some transfers elsewhere that, um, were very high level players. So this that Miami Ohio State game did not surprise me because I think we also touched on a little bit that if number one, if Miami's defense showed up, which they did, and then their offensive line was blocking the way that they were, and Carson Beck kept it clean, that result did not shock me um, at all. And what also didn't shock me was I think Ohio State was a little bit of a fool's gold kind of record this season.
Yeah.
I don't say that just because I mean anybody could be like, oh, Micah, what about Georgia? Well, we beat everybody on our schedule this year, right? We just happened to lose to a couple of the teams as well. We just had rematches. Uh,
Well,
Ohio State didn't beat everybody on their schedule. So
no, they didn't. And I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I know people always go they go off on Notre Dame schedule, they go off on Ohio State schedule. But most of the time when those teams play, they beat who's on their schedule. At the end of the day, if you beat what's in front of you, that's all you can do, right? So
and Tiger Bait said he lost 500 on Bama. Sorry that you did. If that was my fault for suggesting that maybe Bama gets that done, I apologize because
man,
they did not. But I'm not gonna take full responsibility for that. You still had to wager the bet, so
yeah, I
sorry.
get that one. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Hey, Tiger Bates eating ramen noodles this week.
That's right. Hey, maybe you can make it back on a bet for Ole Miss because
Yeah,
hey, let me just tell you, Ole Miss is for real. Okay, going into the matchup with Georgia, you can go back and watch it. We were pretty confident, Georgia was the better team and would win. But this is if you play the game 100 times, this was the 10 times that the game simulates and Ole Miss wins. What I'm trying to say is like the perfect scenario happened for Ole Miss. They made the plays when they needed to, and Georgia didn't. And so it worked out for them. Also, Trinidad Chambliss is that dude. He played like an all time performance. He had the best game of the quarterfinals with the quarterbacks, if you ask me.
would you say is probably the best game of his career? I'm not sure. I didn't know what he played in the level below, but I mean, I know for Ole Miss's best game he's ever played. So to
Oh,
say,
it was certainly, yeah, his best Division One game of his career. I mean, we could probably dig up some D2 game where he had similar stat line, but in that moment, I mean, it was on par with Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson going back a few years with the dominance that they played with and just he had three ridiculous plays that McElroy said on broadcast live. He was like, "Wow, he was dead to rights."
well,
He
two
had
plays back to back. He
oh
caught
that
a shovel pass, and then the next one he ran 30 yards backwards and then went 30 yards up, and it was just amazing. Just
yeah
he played his heart out.
he had no business making either of those plays, but sometimes athletes like that on that level they just make those plays, and it's amazing to watch. I couldn't be mad at that at all. Of course, I wanted our defense to tackle him in the backfield, but he's just a special player. And you give him time, that's what he's going to do. So,
I hope he gets another year of eligibility. I like to see him play. I know the rumors are out there that he's coming to LSU, and that would be great to have. But it's also out there the NCAA is probably not going to approve his another year, and he'll probably have to take it to court, and he might not win that. So we'll see.
yeah. Well, and the reason I kind of skipped over the Oregon Texas Tech game was for this reason, and I'll give a thought on that game here also. They That game was probably the sleeper of the four. It wasn't very competitive. Oregon looked very impressive, though. They dominated. They came out there and pushed around a team that a lot of people thought could make a run here and uh, in Texas Tech, and everybody was talking about Texas Tech's defense, and here comes Oregon, and they played better defense. I mean, they just did. So they got the job done. It was very, very one sided and boring, not as one sided as the Indiana Alabama game. obviously, but um, yeah, I was impressed with Oregon. I did like what Dan Lanning said after the game. I don't know if you caught this, Tiger Mike, but the comment about this should have been played in Lubbock, Texas. I'm a big proponent of that. I think whatever we do moving forward with the playoff, maybe all the way up till the championship, maybe up until the semifinals, even it's the higher the the higher seed has to go to
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
the lower seed.
You played a home stadium. Okay.
Yeah, I
Hey,
mean why not
they do it in the pros. I mean, heck, they
M-
should. Hey,
make
I got a guest that just walked in the door.
Sorry, I'm a little late, guys.
Nah, I
is
didn't
that
tell him.
double D?
Yeah.
Yes, Rebel Dale here.
But hey, let's go back to Oregon and Texas Tech. Honestly, that game was a little boring to me.
Yeah,
I mean, Oregon didn't really pop off until the third and fourth quarters, so it's. I really thought Oregon would score a little bit more against Texas Tech. I mean, you think of Oregon of old, you think of scoring points, just lofting the ball out there, running with those orange and yellow uniforms on the field. So um, I really thought that they would.
Total yards because Oregon, they did some good things, but it was the mistakes. I mean, I think Oregon could have won this game by 35. What was the box score? Like total
So
total yardage.
they created some turnovers that they didn't take advantage of really.
That's bad.
yeah, 200 total yards, 300 total yards.
Not that Oregon. Well, they knew they didn't have to do anything.
Well, time of possession, Oregon had it for 38 minutes. Texas Tech only 22. So
Oh, Tiger Bait said he lost on Tech too. Dang, you had a rough weekend then.
how much? Another 500 Tiger Bait.
Yeah, if you lost a band on those two games, man, I'd probably just hold off the rest of the playoff.
Oh, he's got to make it back now. You got to double down on the next one, Tiger Mike.
Uh,
Hey, congrats to you. You picked a lot of them right.
Yeah,
I missed.
I
I missed on
look.
all of them.
My heart said Ole Miss, but my head said Georgia, and so I picked Georgia, and I still stay with my heart. So
yeah. So is that the only one that you got wrong?
it
If I'm
is.
okay,
It is. No, just 50 on that one. He said.
just 50. Yeah, so he wasn't too confident on Tech there then. More confident on Bama and weren't I was too. We were wrong about that.
Well, what about that Indiana Alabama game, man? I really thought Indiana would kind of
Sheer beat down.
it.
No other way around it.
I picked Indiana to win outright. And I think I picked by touchdown. I did not pick them to just mollywop, as Daddy Ice says, and mollywop that team. So
Yeah.
what'd you think?
No, I remember I said Alabama's been there. They've done that. And I said, even though Indiana, I've doubted them all year, and they've come through in a big way. I said, but this is too big of a stage for somebody that's been a doormat for 50, 60 years in college football. I was like, they're going to shrink in pressure, but man, they proved me wrong again.
Here's one thing.
I
said last week that I want to take back. I think I said that Alabama head coach probably should be in the running for best coach of the year. I think it should be Cignetti. That dude has just done something with this team.
There's nobody.
It's just amazing.
Lane Kiffin did an amazing job. I mean, he should be in the top 3 for coach of the year, but I think they're not going to give him that award. But Cignetti is there's nobody.
Cignetti's the man right now.
There's nobody in the conversation. I mean, have they given that award yet? Because it's not even going to be.
I don't think so.
It's a runaway.
No, I was just talking about it last week because I know it's going to be coming. And look, I think DeBoer should be up there too. He's done a lot on this team in 2 years, taking over for Nick Saban. That's just a hard.
Yeah,
it's hard to follow behind that.
We talked about that last week. It's hard to follow the man.
Cignetti is just hands down. He's done better.
The Cignetti is not Mr. 43-year-old young guy. He's 63. He he's done some D2 and
James Madison.
He came from James Madison, yeah, and brought 9 starters from James Madison to that Indiana team. So before the year, you would laugh, be like, yeah, you brought James Madison people over here, but man, the guy, he's got something that some people don't have.
He's 64 years old, so he's got a
And
lot of fire.
Yep.
he's got a lot of moxie too, and he's very no nonsense from what I hear. They really highlighted that in the pregame. They were talking about how he's built that program from the bottom up, and he came in and people were, in and around the school and that athletic facility there were just like, hey, you can't win here. You can't get it done here. And he was like, what do you mean? I wouldn't have taken this job if you can't get it done. So he was like, I'm changing that. That's changing right now. And
And
and so is your attitude. Otherwise, you can get the hell out of here.
That year, yeah.
and so that's how college football works. He does well. His name is mentioned everywhere. And what does he does? He nuts up and says, you know what? I I want to be here. This is
Hmm.
where and he signs, unlike an Ole Miss coach that, I'm here. He had offers from everywhere. And so did landing at Oregon. He's like, nope, this is where I want to be. Sign it. So anyway, I mean, that takes a lot of balls to say I'm going to stay at Indiana because they've never been good at. But anyway, I'm a fan of Signetti. He's a big fan of his now for sure.
Well, and this poses a good question. I've hinted at it before, and what is it? What does this do for first year coaches now? Like the expectation is, well, Signetti won with way less in Indiana in the first 2 years. If you're not competing, if Lane Kiffin doesn't compete for the national championship next year, are they going to be coming after him? They're going to say, well, Signetti was able to compete within 2 years at Indiana. I think
Hey,
it puts a lot of pressure on coaches now.
8-4 next year at LSU.
Well,
There's going to be some mad mofo's.
no, we talked about schedule earlier, and Indiana has a schedule.
8-4.
Indiana has a schedule in front of him that's a little bit softer than what Tiger's going to play. So
But
it's a little different.
correct.
But yeah, I agree. I think
correct, 100% correct. But
I'd
we're not
like
talking about here. We're talking about LSU.
No.
What if Lane Kiffin? He don't have a soft schedule.
Well, listen,
He's got to play in the SEC.
Yeah.
If he goes 8-4, like he said, what are they going to think in year one? They want you to win year one.
I don't think
LSU fans are not. They're not patient.
I disagree.
Okay, so 7-5, they're going to just clap their hands and but no, they're not.
I mean, they could. They could.
I think most of them are pretty realistic. I think it depends on the quality of play. If they're playing together, if it's a team, if they have a direction that they're going in. And, Brian Kelly didn't have that this whole time he was with LSU. Yeah. The whole thing was just a debacle, in my opinion.
If you're playing well at the end of the year, because LSU, look, they're going to have a whole new offensive line. They only have 13 offensive players coming back next year. They're going to have so yeah. If LSU, they just need to show to keep the LSU faithful happy. They just need to show that they're improving. So by the 5th, 6th game, if they're getting better as the year goes on, then that's puts them on a good trajectory because they're breaking in.
As long as they beat Ole Miss, that's all I care right now.
Yeah, well, that's early in the season. I hope we beat y'all by 80.
September 19th. Put it on the schedule.
Game day will be there. Trust me. If we're both undefeated.
Well,
I don't think he has to go to a natty. I don't think he even has to go to the SEC. It would be nice, but we definitely don't want to see any kind of team that doesn't look like they're playing together, and it just doesn't look like any continuity. I think what really hurt Brian Kelly is that he wasn't a players coach at all, and they talked about that, and He kicked all the old players out of the locker room. He just did a lot of stuff that just didn't sit right down
He's
in
a
Louisiana.
Yankee that didn't need to come down here.
Well, I mean, Nick Saban's a Yankee, so I don't want to hear that stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
He just didn't fit. It was the wrong fit,
Nick
and
Saban
that's
fit. Nick Saban
yeah.
fit. Brian Kelly did not fit.
Saban fit because he's got that blue collar mentality where I'm gonna strap my boots on.
He's a red ass. Like, don't I mean, anyway, that's Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Kelly came in on the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. I've done it with players that are 3-star and 2-star, and I'm going to LSU and I'm going to kick butt.
He recruited well.
He didn't recruit as good as
at Notre Dame. He had top 8, top 10 recruiting classes every year.
Yeah, but not
and
like
they were good too. I mean, they
top 15
good.
maybe.
But I remember going to a Sugar Bowl. No, that was before him. LSU curb stomped him down the Sugar Bowl one year.
Well, and then finally here, I just wanted to, because this was the last game, and I just wanted to give it the justice that it deserves. That Ole Miss Georgia game will be a game that we look back at, and it's an instant classic. I mean, the spot that was in, the way that Chambus played, like I mentioned earlier, he deserves all the credit. He's that dude. I don't. If I'm any of the other 3 coaches, I don't want to see that dude. I don't. I don't know how you stop him. I think you just hope that he's not on like he got on in that second half. And, when he wasn't on in the first half, Georgia needed to take more advantage of that, and we didn't. And Ole Miss made the plays when they should have. And that's, that the way that game ended, too, was just incredible. That game was pure cinema. So,
well, I missed the beginning of the show, but thanks for the kind words about Ole Miss. Yeah, I mean, I didn't come here to to say because hey, Georgia, hey, they're Georgia, but yes, the game will go down as a top 5 game. I was there. I was lucky to witness this with my 2 sons. 17 and 10 years old. And I mean, I got emotional, hugging my sons, saying, I'm so glad that I got to witness this. But it was amazing. I thought when y'all had the scoop and score before half, I thought our winning percentage went down to 10%. But what Trinidad did there was not much in the third quarter. I think Georgia had a missed field goal, but it was that first. Oh, and I first got to back up that fake punt that Kirby ran was balls, but the one that he did right there at the very end of the third quarter didn't work. I think there was some miscommunication.
ball wasn't actually supposed to be snapped, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
I had heard that too, because you could tell 2 of the linemen did not even move when he snapped it. But that one came back to haunt him. But anyway, Ole Miss, we faltered down the stretch when we played at Georgia. The moment was too big for us, but I don't know. Pete Golding had our guys ready to play, and I mean, what Trinidad did. I mean, I never even looked at Trinidad as a NFL quarterback. He's just like but I don't know what he did. What he did was in that second half, especially that fourth quarter, he dropping dimes. But again, Ole Miss earned it. Georgia put up every fight. The last one, Georgia, I thought Georgia was going to score there at the end and make us. Anyway, well, I don't know. I could go on and on, but I'm just glad that I was a part of it, and the Georgia people and the Ole Miss people we're all friends, and there was no, back and forth between us, and it was just a good time, and I'm glad I got to experience it with my kids. So anyway,
Well,
good.
my opinion at the end of that game, he's the one that won that game, in my opinion. You take him out
100%.
that game, and that game is it's not even close. A couple things I want to point out that, and we kind of talked about this earlier, and we'll move on to next week's games if you want, Dogfather. But
Yeah.
the two plays where Chambliss scrambled and kind of did a shovel pass that first time and got the ball out, got a first down, and then he
Back to back.
and then he ran 30 yards down the field, 30 yards up and passed the ball, and just on point. That was amazing.
It was the Kewan Lacey, and then
That was amazing.
And he fell forward for the first down.
But then, I mean, he threw for 40. He had 46 attempts in this game,
Mm-hmm.
and he ran the ball four times for 14 yards. He looked really good. He didn't look scared. He didn't look nervous at all in that game, and he was ready to play that game. And to me, this was a coming out party for him. He came out and played this game, and I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was that good. And I want to say this: I hope he gets another year because I want to see him play again in college. He is a beast. So even if he goes to LSU or not,
LSU, Ole Miss,
Yeah.
or you know what? There's rumors that he could possibly leak into the, if he doesn't get this waiver request, he could possibly leak into the 6th or 7th round draft pick in the pros, and he may, because he's 20 years old. He's 22 years old. I mean,
he played well. And one other thing I want to point out, which I thought Ole Miss at the end of the before the half, they really had a clock management issue.
We did,
and I thought that really cost them 3 points, if not a touchdown. And I thought right there that was going to be the breaker in the game.
That was Daquan Wright. He was supposed to dart out of bounds, but he thought he could get the first down. That would have stopped the clock. We could have clocked it,
but
but he was short by 1 yard. Anyway, but Joe Judge almost came glued over there on the sideline on that, but
he looked like he was going to have an aneurysm.
You're dealing with 18, 19-year-old.
But the last thing I want to point out that last time Georgia and Ole Miss played, Ole Miss fell kind of apart in the fourth quarter. I believe they were up by 9 points. With what? How many minutes were left in that game?
There was like 12.
Okay, in the fourth quarter, they scored 20 points in the fourth quarter in this game. That's strong. So that was the deciding factor.
They flipped the script on us. So we scored 17 unanswered in the fourth quarter. In the first matchup, they scored 20 against us the second time, and it was a total flip flop.
Yeah. Well, Kirby made some good decisions down at the end of that regular season game, and our guys, in front of 90,000, just we faltered. I really got to give a shout out to the Ole Miss faithful for coming out, and again, I get it. Georgia, they have more alumni, way more alumni than Ole Miss, but Georgia, I understand what they've been to Sugar Bowls like every year, and they've been to, and so we don't, we've been to a couple of Sugar Bowls, but I do have to give a shout out that when it came down to crowd noise and this and that Ole Miss was well represented in New Orleans.
It looked pretty good. I saw it too. It looked pretty strong in that stadium.
It did. Well, and I'll be honest, I'll be rooting for Ole Miss here on out because I think it's a great story, and I think that Chambliss is the best quarterback left, and that includes the Heisman Trophy winner. There's no disrespect to Mendoza. Mendoza's the better NFL prospect. He had the better season because he played all the games that they played. But if you give Chambliss a full season and just the way that he just puts defenses under stress, I think he's the best quarterback left.
Yeah,
so
he didn't start. He was.
If he would have again, Austin Simmons got hurt in game 3, and he came in. So yeah, if you were to do them, I mean, again, this is a story for another day. But Trinidad Chambliss had 400 or 500 yards more passing than Signetti, or wait, no, that's the coach.
Mendoza.
but Mendoza, I mean, I mean, he was great, and Kiffin was caught in the middle of, in his brain, he's like, am I going to? You got to have your coach to help promote you to win the Heisman. You've got to, because Keywan Lacey had the most rushing touches. We had two guys, I think, that could have possibly, given we had the best year we've had since 1962.
Maybe that's the reason why.
Two guys that could have possibly been in New York, and so but anyway, but now a lot of people on Twitter have said Trinidad's one of the best they've seen, but I thought it was a shame that he couldn't at least go get fifth place.
Well,
in the Heisman and go sit at New York and be fifth place. But
I think just Trinidad, that game was a coming out game for him, and it just showed what he can do. And hopefully, if he doesn't stay in college, that it does show the NFL scouts and everybody that, hey, he can play. So,
that's a game that'll get him drafted.
Maybe late, because I just don't see him. He's a small guy.
He's 6 foot.
Yeah. But who do you have? I mean, he's
Bo
not
Nix.
a Kyler Murray.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is 6'2".
Drew Brees was 6 foot.
Drew Brees is 6'1". Anyway, but anyway, I hope Trinidad. Hey, I hope I'm an Ole Miss guy. I hope his stock skyrockets. But I mean, it comes down to the,
It's all about somebody wanting to give you a chance.
You go to the combine, the speed, all that stuff.
Well, let's go to the next one, guys. Let's
why don't you start us off, Tiger Mike? Let's start with the first game is Ole Miss Miami.
Yes.
So that's January 8th at 7:30, and then January 9th, which is Friday. So it's Thursday, Friday, will be Indiana, Oregon. Let's do the Miami Ole Miss game first. What are your initial thoughts?
I think, look, Ole Miss is on a roll. They knocked off Georgia. I don't think Miami has played a caliber of team as was what Ole Miss has played this year. The defensive line on Miami is strong, like we talked about last week. I believe their DNs are some of the top in the country.
Yeah.
Now, if Carson Beck goes off in this game, it could be the other way around. But Ole Miss, I think, is going to win this game. I do. Yeah, I'll take Ole Miss.
You got a score prediction or a spread?
Okay, let's go. I'm not even sure what the spread is on those, but let's do this. Let's do they win by a touchdown. How's that? 20-27, 21 to 28, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an Ole Miss fan. Live and bleed. I'll be there in Tempe. But
you are going to Tempe?
I am.
All right.
Yeah, the dadgum flights are $800, $1,000. Anyway, trying to figure out some alternative routes. The tickets to the games are not the problems, and the hotels are not the problems. It's just getting there from Mississippi. So anyway, so I think that Ole Miss just put it all out on the table the other night, and I mean, I know Miami's only a 3-point favorite, 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Miami 3.5.
I just think, I mean, they have two, maybe three defensive linemen that are projected to go in the first round. I mean, that's just silly. I mean, this defensive line is as much as I hate to say, it's gonna be better. It's better than Georgia's, and Georgia's defensive line for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just think that they get to Trinidad a little bit, and I see in the over/under, not sure what it's at, but I see this being a little bit lower, probably than what the professionals think, because Miami's offense is average.
They can run the ball. They can run the ball.
Right. And we have some talent on the defensive line, but again, when you get to this point in the year, you can't have average or a little bit. You got to have elite, and we're not elite at every one of those positions. So
Yeah, Miami's got 2 elite units.
I got a low scoring game. I got 24-17 Miami, and I hope I'm wrong, guys. But anyway, whatever happens, I'm proud of what we did with all the turmoil that we went through for the last 6 weeks.
Self-inflicted.
Shut up,
Self-inflicted.
shut up. Anyway,
Yeah.
all of what
So
happened, and it's just it's just been a shit show. But anyway, so want to hear you guys take.
I never heard the biggest crybabies in the world. I had 4 kids at one time.
Wah, wah,
These
wah,
Ole Miss
wah,
fans.
wah, wah.
all right. So I'm actually surprised that Tiger Mike's got Ole Miss winning by a touchdown, and then the Ole Miss fan has them losing by a touchdown. So I was gonna see what y'all were gonna say about this one, but I'll stick with what I just said. I'm rooting for Ole Miss. I don't think that Miami's defense is going to be able to stop Trinidad. Only Trinidad can stop himself in this game. So if he, throws a pick or two,
Yeah,
Makes a
then
mistake.
it's probably not going to be good for Ole Miss. And Tiger Bait says position by position, Miami is more talented, right? I would say yes.
yeah, definitely.
So if you're going with the more talented team, the more experienced team, I guess you would go with Miami.
Hell, Georgia was more talented than Ole Miss position by
That
position.
Georgia had a lot of freshmen. I think they had like 8 or 9.
had a lot of freshmen and sophomores
Right.
playing.
Georgia doesn't believe in portal as much as
I understand
we
that,
do.
but still, position by position, they were more talented.
Yeah.
You can have a talented freshman,
but you got an 18-year-old going up against a 21-year-old. It didn't matter if they played at East Carolina 3 years. These guys have been there, they've done it, and they've been in Ole Miss's system for 2 years. That's a tough ask for Georgia, because 90% of their roster is high school talent, and
Right.
Ole
And we
Miss
develop.
is correct, and they develop and do a damn good job of it. But Ole Miss is half and half, or if not, and brought in guys from Southern Miss, from East Carolina, from actually 3 or 4 Alabama players, guys that have been there, done that, and I just think the experience kind of won out in that game. And again, it's not like Ole Miss beat their. I mean, if Georgia scores right there at the end, then
probably ball game.
Correct. So it's not like this was lopsided, but Ole Miss can't go get 5-star, 5-star, 4-star, 4-star like Georgia and LSU. So why not go get that 3-star from from a G5 or whatever program that has played 2 years and that's shown I can play at a big time level. I mean, I thought Kiffin absolutely worked the portal to amazing. But if you're Georgia and you just recruit high school, you're gonna have some years you're gonna have an experienced team. Some years you're gonna have an inexperienced team. And Georgia this year had 8 or 9 freshmen out there playing, and and they're an amazing team.
And it showed at different times.
They would have beat any other. If you watch those games, Georgia would have beat the ass. Well, I don't know about Indiana, but they would have. I mean, they would have clobbered the other teams that won. They just ran up against an Ole Miss team that got hot, and we've got some talented wide receivers and a quarterback that's.
Well, it was a close game when they played earlier in the year, and they could have at the end of that game. So, at the end of the day, Georgia's a great team, and they just got beat by a little bit better team for that day. So,
on that day,
yeah,
correct. Not saying a better team on that day.
Yes,
that's a very good point.
Dogfather, what do you think with the Ole Miss Miami game? What are you thinking that's going to happen?
So ever since the end of the game, I mean, this is probably no shock to y'all because I say it almost every week about the more toss-up game, if you will, that we pick. I've gone back and forth on this one. because I've been on Miami. I picked Miami to beat Texas A&M. I picked them to beat Ohio State.
Wow.
So I've been riding that train. I think that they deserve to be where they're at. And I think they were a much better team than a 10 seed. I don't think they should have been as low as they were in the rankings up until the end. I didn't think it was much of a discussion between them and Notre Dame. So, but with all that said, I mean, they're both hot. Neither of them are a Cinderella either. I don't like that term in football. Football, we don't have
You
Cinderellas.
made it this far, you're not Cinderella unless you
Yeah,
think Madison or Tulane.
it's a
It's gonna be
12 yeah, it's a 12 team field. There's no Cinderellas.
Right.
And I think Trinidad just makes a few more special plays, and I think Carson Beck probably makes a fatal mistake in this game, and Ole Miss moves on to the championship. I'll take
So,
them by 3.
so you think Carson Beck's going to be the factor in Miami going
I,
down?
I think he started to press a little bit and got away with it against Ohio State, and I think he presses one too many times against Ole Miss, and Ole Miss makes him pay.
Now your Georgia guys, he pressed a few times last year. He had some subpar performances, correct?
That's
In
correct.
at the end of the well, I know in the Ole Miss game at Oxford.
He he
Anyway,
had a really bad game that
we
game.
were, we were amped, and Georgia was just. I don't know if they were ready to play that night, but Ole Miss got after him and just
Yep.
got in his head, I think. But he had another one or two uh,
Like,
not so good games towards the end of the year.
Alabama was one.
Is that
Alabama, he threw a couple of picks, and
okay?
then he
Well,
also threw multiple picks against uh, maybe
Michigan? Wait,
no.
or was that? Oh, am I in the wrong
I'm
year?
talking about last year.
He had 2 or 3 games in a row where he threw.
He didn't do good in any way.
Yeah, he
So,
threw 2 or more picks in like multiple games in a row
so it's like
last season.
like he's saying, maybe he gets in the heat of the moment. Maybe
Yeah.
it's too big for him.
Well, he presses. Yep.
Yeah, and it's not that it's too big because he's been in those big games before. He just tries to fit it into a tight window, and he doesn't have receivers at Miami that are like really big and physical, so they don't go fight for the ball as much. They're more speedsters and great route runners.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. You don't hear about the receivers. I mean, Ole Miss has 5 receivers that have over 600 yards receiving, which is
mhm,
it's not just 1, 2, or 3. I mean, again, I got to give it props to Kiffin. I mean, he brought in the guy from Penn State, brought in the guy from Oklahoma State, and anyway, they have every game. It's a different person that can beat you, and so when the other team's trying to game plan, they can't focus on
Well, look.
one guy because here comes our tight end. Here comes you can pull up the stats from that.
Well, I'm looking at Miami's right now.
But Miami, I don't know about their receivers.
Well,
I don't. Yep.
So
they got Tony.
yeah, they have Tony's 1,000 yards, Fletcher's 900 yards,
Oh.
Marion's got 600 yards, and Daniels has 500 yards.
All
So
right,
that's
well,
pretty good.
that's
That's strong.
All
That's
right.
strong.
Well,
It is, but they've really
Beck's got close to, he's got over 3,000 yards passing, I believe, for the year, don't he? Yeah,
he does. He
300.
does.
And 200 was from last week. So Beck's not a bad passer. He's good. He just
But-
all right. So
he's
they're
very
not-
confident. He
Okay.
presses. He's very confident what he can do. He's kind of like the gunslinger mentality.
So
And
they're not just a running team.
Yeah.
No, but they have really run the ball really well, and if they do that and Ole Miss can't stop the run, then it could get away from Ole Miss.
And
This
finish middle of the pack in the SEC as far as run defense, if not actually down the latter part of middle of the pack. So yeah, I mean, if they come in and just like Georgia did in the first half, Georgia was just busting us in the face, in the mouth, and they kind of got away from that.
And we got away from it for some odd reason.
Yeah,
But
and I mean they were running 8 yards a pop, and I don't know Kirby. Anyway, I'm never going to doubt Kirby. He's got a couple rings, but
he got out coached, so there is some doubt there. You can doubt him for that game. I mean, he
you can make it on Bobo or whatever. I mean, it's probably comes down to Kirby, but
Well, I guess we're all picking. I picked Mississippi. Dogfather picked Mississippi, and you're picking Miami.
yeah,
Okay.
well
What about this Oregon, Indiana?
go for it. Start us off. What do you think on that? You rolling with your team or
Indiana.
I'm going with Indiana. I'm going with Indiana. That defense, to me, those guys, they were knocking the crap out of Alabama players, man.
Dude, they beat Alabama up, man.
They not only were they hitting hard, they were tackling them. Those guys didn't have it. They didn't have a chance. Alabama didn't. They were
No.
knocking people down. They were gang tackling. Not only when it was a single person tackling, they were the technique was amazing. Those guys knew where the play
They're
was
in the
going.
right position.
They were just all
coached.
the defense of Indiana is amazing.
They are.
Again, I was at a bar on Bourbon Street with my kids, trying to
Get them drunk.
No, I was making sure that they had their water, but and Dad had his. It was a place that it's called Big Ass Beer. Anyway, I don't know right there, but
Beer belly.
No,
Okay.
But anyway, so I was trying to watch from afar, but from what I saw, it got out of hand, and it just steamrolled, and I was just blown away because I just thought that Alabama. Anyway, I know DeBoer has not really been there and done that, and but anyway, but the Indiana definitely hasn't. So anyway, I was shocked, but I'm not. I'm Indiana. Indiana absolutely dog walked them. I mean, it was middle of the season, I think.
Yep.
When they went to Eugene, they went at Eugene and just beat their ass sideways. I just think that Indiana's going to have to. They're going to have to make some mistakes to win. I'm not going against them. So anyway, I got Indiana. I know this. They're only favored by 4.
Yeah, it's 4 right now.
4. Okay. I got them. I mean, I got them about the same score that they went to at Eugene. They beat them 31 to.
It was 20 to 30. 20.
They only beat them by 10.
Yep.
Yeah, Oregon scored late.
My brain doesn't work that. Oh, Oregon scored late. Okay, so
it was 30-13, and Oregon scored late in that game, if I remember correctly.
Okay, well, I'm going 30-13, Indiana. Okay, I mean they're just that guy's going to have them ready to play. And,
I think it's going to be
Oregon's going to. They got in their head last game. They're going to be in their head this time. So Indiana, boom.
Well,
gotcha.
I think it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be close. I think Indiana's going to maybe start slow like they did against Alabama and get some momentum, and then just rock and roll and knock them in the mouth, and won't let them score after that.
So. Dan Lanning has been known to. He's lost a lot, some big games, but
yeah, anyway. he hasn't quite gotten over the hump yet as a head coach. In these spots, they were the number 1 seed last year, and they got throttled by Ohio State, but everybody did in the playoff last year. I think Oregon's a live dog here. Both underdogs are live dogs, and for those of you out there, I know you two on the show with me know what that means, but that means that they have as just as good of a shot to win as anybody if Dante Moore goes off like Chambliss can. And they both have like similar skill sets, and it could pose, some problems for Indiana's defense. That's Oregon's path to win, but that's like their only path to win. And like Georgia, they're inexperienced in key places. They are also a younger team that has really kind of overachieved based on experience. And So I think Indiana's a mature team, more veteran team. They got the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, and they've got Kurt Signetti, and he's not going to let these guys be like, "Oh, we beat them already. You don't have to worry about these
Oh
guys."
yeah.
So they're going to be locked in on this game. I think they advance. I don't think it's going to get ugly like y'all do. I think it'll be a 7-point game.
Okay.
So, but yeah, give me Indiana. I have Indiana and Ole Miss. Who would have had that at the beginning of the year? But that's who I have in the championship.
0.
All right. I think it's going to be a great week, man. You
Oh yeah.
So you got Thursday and Friday games coming up this week. And,
Yep.
Man, some good games.
Yep.
And you don't want to call them underdogs, or you don't want to call them Cinderellas, but Ole Miss, a program that really, is
Hadn't done it in a long time.
has done a long time. Lane Kiffin did a great
We
job.
had Eli Manning years. We had Hugh Freeze years, but still that's still 10-3 or whatever. This is the first time.
Well, I was gonna say, imagine a college football playoff game, championship game, with two teams that you would never have guessed in a million years at the beginning of the season. So that's pretty cool. I like it. Bring it on.
And if there's a guy on Twitter that somebody reposted, I don't know, maybe his last name was Klatt or something. He had the top 10 quarterbacks heading into this year, and it's absolutely. I'm like, I don't know. I would have to go back and find it, but it's literally like number one was the guy from Clemson.
Okay.
But this year it's kind of been of an odd year. I mean, all the quarterbacks that were on the top 10 preseason watch for Heisman or whatever, the only one was Miami's quarterback was 10th, and he's at least done okay. But anyway, Cook, Klubnik, and all that. So it's been a weird year. To say the least, it's been a weird year. But I love it too.
Yeah, I love how it finished. We get these, surprises now. That's what a 12-team playoff will give you.
Well, that's what NIL gives us.
And that too, it spreads out the wealth, it spreads out the talent. So you can't really sleep on anybody anymore. So
I agree.
it's exciting. I'm going to be locked into these games, even though my team's not in it, because I'm still a huge college football fan. And I will watch them for the story and for the excitement that I think will be these semifinal matchups. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Well,
all right, guys, that was a great show tonight. Y'all, I understand that y'all are going to dinner, so y'all have fun. Enjoy.
You. Hey, shout out to Tiger Big too for jumping in the comments over there. So thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that. Who's that? I feel like you have a connection to him.
I don't know.
No.
Oh,
Tiger Bay 311. Don't know.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, appreciate him jumping in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Dudley. That's my guy. Okay, that's a buddy of Derek's.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's an LSU fan, so anyway, he went to Southern Miss. He's an LSU fan, but anyway, he knows they're going through rough times right now. So anyway, he's gonna pull for Ole Miss. Ain't that
one thing I hate? Wow.
But hey, thanks, Dogfather. And again, props. The Georgia fans were amazing. Georgia and Ole Miss, we're not rivals. We're friends, and you could tell that it was nothing but class, and everybody had a good time in New Orleans. And so anyway, just appreciate your fans being classy, and be quiet. Your fans are classy, as always.
Well, I would hope so. So
right.
That's good to hear. I'm glad y'all had a good time at the game. Georgia will be back. We're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
This team's going to be back. We're returning almost everybody. So, and still think we've got the best coach in America. So we'll see.
Real quick, the quarterback. So, I mean, y'all always have 3 5-stars on your bench. Who do you think's the quarterback next year?
Oh, it's Gunner. It's Gunner.
I thought he was. My bad.
Yeah, no, he still has a year of eligibility left, so I think he'll use that and he'll come back as the starter.
If he wanted to put his name in the hat, could he?
Oh, he could, yeah, 100%. I mean, he could put his name in the hat. I just don't think that this is the year for him to go.
But I thought he had used up all of his.
Why go when he's making money right now? It doesn't make sense. I think it's the only good thing about NIL. These guys are going to stay in longer.
Yeah, some of these people can make more money.
And also, what's very good is our backup Puglisi staying as well because of the money, and because he's like, I like Georgia. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, and y'all had 3 or 4 offensive linemen that injured throughout the year, so you were playing with almost a backup, team. So anyway, so you guys, the future's bright there, and I hope our Ole Miss's future with Pete stays bright, and and maybe LSU can get a little bit better and
can join the fold.
Go to the Shreveport Bowl. Maybe they can come up there and join us, play in a decent bowl.
That'd be nice.
But
it'd make this show more interesting next season as well.
Yes,
so. Well, y'all have a great night. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Everybody give us a like and subscribe. Share with 5 or 10 of your friends. We would definitely appreciate that. And as always, go Dogs.
Yep.
Go Tigers.
Go Rebels. All right.
See y'all.